there we do. We have that spire coming up just after I said so because I am psychic. We also have centrifugal hook starting just about to finish, and +1 melee attack. So he's really gearing up some kind of mid game to late game.
Yeah, double NG Bay from the Terran. Now, he's only producing from one of them, so I don't know if it was kind of accidental, maybe he just ran out of money. Yeah, he's only just got enough money for the armor now. But I think if you're going tank marine off of 2 factories when you're on only 2 base, I really only think 1 NG Bay is really necessary, because otherwise you're just going to be cutting into that tank production. Really, you want to get that massive number of tanks up, because then the Zerg can do absolutely nothing on the ground.
Yeah, it's true. I think Akkarin needs to be a bit more, what can I say? He needs to put a few more missile turrets up, because at the moment he's only got 1 at his main. He doesn't have any at his natural. They're just starting one now, but the Mutalisks are just coming out, so it might be just in time to save them. And something I'd like to see the Creep doing is actually starting +1 flyers attack, which is something I always love to do. As soon as I get my spire, first 100 minerals, 100 gas, straight into flyers attack, because it just helps so much.
Yeah, it makes killing those SCVs so much easier, because the glaive worm does the bounce and the plus damage even helps that. Now he's got the Zerglings in front of the base just to check it in case there's a move out. So something I don't quite like is the Overlord spread of the Zerg player, because he could have an Overlord at the third, pooping out the creep. And I didn't know if you know this, but if you have an Overlord that is fully pooped out creep for the entire area, it takes an entire minute, an entire game minute for that creep to disappear. So the second the Terran wants to take his base, you are delaying it by a full minute.
Yeah, you also know exactly what he's doing. And now this is quite nice. The creeping has a little changeling right in space, so you can see the entire army composition of Akkarin. So it's really nice. I like this play.
That is, in fact, really intelligent positioning from the Terran at his front. He's got the Marines behind the tanks, so if there's a run-up, the tanks will take that Baneling damage. Beautiful defense against potential Baneling bust.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Good point. And if we switch over to the income tab, we look at both of them just sitting around 45 harvesters. However, this does favour the Terran just a little bit, since they have mules, so they can get away with just a few less harvesters.
Now, if you look back in the Terran's base, he saw the spire going down, yet he's only just got his first missile turret going up. That seems odd to me, because really, that's just terrifying, as if when I do occasionally off races Terran, when I see Mutalisks come out, I think, oh god, I've got to leg it. And we've got 2 in the back, 1 in the natural. And
yeah.
I'd quite like to see the Terran kind of continue because currently he's just passing off 2 base. And this will just allow the Zerg to go macro crazy if he wishes, as you can see, taking the 4th base already.
This is interesting. 2 Corruptors coming out for the creeping. So maybe he's hoping to transition into late game Broodlords. I'm not sure. Does he? I think I saw him. Yeah, he does. He has this infestation pit down, so I would expect him to start high relatively quickly. Transition to that Great Spire, get some Broodlords out, which is so good against Marine tank.
Yeah, but I don't know if I like getting the Corruptors this early, though, because you're not going to be able to use them that quickly. And oh my god, forget what I was just saying. We have a Nidus worm going down, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
this is so cool.
And here's the hive just
in the third.
As well.
Oh, Mutalisks swinging in from the back. All those supply depots will be free. Oh, and he's just grouping them up and taking loads of shots from Mutalisks. That has gotta hurt.
Well, it looks like no, they're repairing the turret, so we can't focus down the turret. +1 just finishing for Akkarin. He's got +1 attack, which will shred these Mutalisks to pieces.
Now, I know that the SCV line is a really tempting target, but I'd really like to see the Creeping use his Mutalisks to try and pick off those auxiliary buildings, because they don't hurt as much as killing SCVs, but they still hurt. They're still guaranteed damage, and you're not putting those Mutalisks into as much danger at all.
And these small party of Marines and Marauders trying to bait the Zerglings into the tank farm, not quite working, overstimming a little bit, all of them in the red health, so it's a bit risky. He needs to get some medevacs out to heal up all the effects of Sim, but I don't think he's even started a starport yet. There he does. Reactor starport, queuing up 4 medevacs, getting ready to compensate for all that stim he's going to be using to microwave from the banelings.
Yeah, now if we look at the 4th Zerg, he's had it up for quite a while now, but he still hasn't taken his gas yet. Generally, as Zerg, you want 3 bases fully mining, and then the 4th, and maybe even a 5th when you're on Hive Tech, purely for that gas, because gas really is the limiting factor.
Yeah, that's true, and we have the Nidus being loaded up by the creeping. Maybe we're going to use
we have some lag.
Yep, losing that. Oh, there goes the Nidus, right in the main. Fix lags as the creeping. If only we could.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
And I'm not sure if the Marine. Yeah,
Nidus in the main. Oh, gets killed.
Which is a shame. It's a shame that it didn't really work. I would have liked to see it go somewhere more subtle, maybe even here. But then the Marines patrolling is actually such a good idea by Akkarin.
Yeah, I love that tiny group of bios sent out to take out the creep tumors. I cannot tell you how annoying it is to have your active creep tumors taken out, because you have to either send your queen into the danger zone or start all again from ground one.
Yeah, that's completely right. Whenever I lose my creep tumors, I'm just like, what do I do now? Because I don't usually have a queen free to make the creep tumors. It's just such a pain. It takes up APM. It's a really good idea from the Terran. But I think he really needs to expand right now. He's super oversaturated in second.
Oh! Nidus in the main! Nidus in the main! Nidus in the main!
There we go.
Oh,
taking out the NG bay, going for a barrack. But loading back up. He must not want to face his army.
Yeah, man. If you can keep those units safe, why not?
Yeah, it's a good
well first.
tactic. I would say that was well worth it, taking out an NG bay. Now he's got 2 upgrades queued on the same NG bay, and that's just a terrible idea for a economy. Here we go. 7 Broodlords come along. This is going to be crazy.
Oh, I love these macro games. He's got Broodlords out by the 20-minute mark. That is exceptionally good macro for something in the gold of it, the gold league even. And he's still got those towers. Now, now Broodlords are really slow. Everybody knows that. So what would be quite cool, even though there are Mutalisks out, would be if the Terran player could try and sneak a drop all the way around the map to maybe his 4th, maybe his natural, because the Overlord spread really isn't there for him. The drop could be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. To get back in the game, Akkarin needs to harass the drone line, get some advantage coming back. But they are equal on supply at least, so that's rather good for Akkarin, though he isn't rebuilding a supply depot, which I'd like to see him actually do, so that he can stop being supply blocked. Moving on all his tanks, but he's going to see a lot of Broodlords, and those will be impressive. Oh! All his tanks deciding to move in.
Oh, what are you doing, tanks? Just donating those to Zerg Force and income the Zerglings. I'm not sure if I like that, because there are still a lot of tanks behind them.
Scrubbed is even clearing up medevacs, which is a positive. Oh,
yeah,
the Zerglings are cleared up, so it's just Marines.
Zerglings are cleared up, Marines. Actually, the Broodlords are going to take them all out. You've got to remember that those
just about. That's the entire army. It's running a couple of leagues. Just a little bit, so you can just do it. There's the GG.
Ah, GG.